They told you to wake up at 5 a.m. They told you to take ice baths. To grind, to hustle, to force yourself through the pain. They lied to you. The entire self-help industry built its empire on a massive, profitable deception, the myth of discipline. They sold you the idea that success is a matter of brute force. That if you just grit your teeth harder, if you just punish yourself more, you will eventually become the person you want to be. Look where that got you. Look at the cycle you are trapped in right now. You watch the motivational videos. You buy the planners. You set the alarms for 3 days, maybe a week. You push through. You feel like a conqueror. Then, the friction sets in, the willpower depletes. The enthusiasm drains away. You miss one workout. You break the diet. You snooze the alarm and instantly, the shame returns. The inner voice starts whispering, "You're weak. You don't want it enough. You lack discipline." So you buy another book. You watch another video. You try to build a stronger cage of rules around yourself and the cycle repeats. It is exhausting. It is soul-crushing. And it is completely unnecessary. You do not lack discipline, you lack alignment. Modern society is obsessed with willpower because it wants to treat the symptoms, not the disease. It is highly profitable to sell you the cure for weakness, day after day, but true power, lasting power, is never forced. The people who are winning the internal war are not grinding their teeth. They are not white-knuckling their way through life, they are operating on an entirely different frequency. If you want to break out of this cycle of failure and shame, you need to hear this. And if you want more of the truth, the unvarnished, uncomfortable truth about human nature, subscribe now. We are building an army of the clear-sighted now. Listen closely. 2,000 years ago, the men who actually ruled the world did not read self-help books. Marcus Aurelius commanded the Roman Empire. He spent years in the brutal, freezing campaigns of Germania. He had absolute power. He could have indulged in any pleasure, avoided every hardship, yet he slept on the floor. He ate plain food. He faced endless betrayal and plague. He didn't do this because he was disciplined in the way modern gurus use the word. He didn't do it to post about his grind on a marble tablet. He did it because he understood something fundamental about human nature, something we have entirely forgotten. The Stoics, Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, did not view life as a battle of willpower against desire. Willpower is a finite resource. A battery that drains. If you rely on willpower, you are fighting a war of attrition against yourself. And you will always lose eventually. The Stoics approached the problem from a different angle. They didn't try to force behavior. They changed identity. They didn't fight the symptoms. They reprogrammed the operating system. Modern discipline is external. It is a set of rules imposed from the outside. It says, I want to be lazy, but I will force myself to work. I want to eat garbage, but I will force myself to diet. This creates constant internal conflict. You are divided against yourself. Stoic strength is internal. It is a matter of alignment. It asks a completely different question, who am I? And more importantly, what does a person like me do? This is the paradigm shift. Stop trying to build discipline. Start building character. Discipline is what you do. Character is who you are. When you try to use discipline, you are trying to act like someone you are not. You are acting the part of the disciplined person. It is a performance. And performances are exhausting. The Stoic does not perform. The Stoic becomes. Let's break down how they did this. It wasn't magic. It was a methodical restructuring of reality. At first, they practiced the separation of control. This is the bedrock. You are currently wasting 90% of your mental energy fighting things you cannot change, the opinions of others, the outcomes of your actions, the past, the future. Modern gurus tell you to manifest results, to visualize success. The Stoics called that delusion. You do not control the outcome. You only control the effort. When your self-worth is tied to the outcome, you live in constant anxiety. Anxiety drains willpower. When you shift your entire focus to the process, to doing the right thing right now, regardless of the result, the anxiety vanishes. You stop fighting reality. you stop wasting energy suddenly. Doing the work doesn't require discipline. It simply becomes the only logical action available. Second, they mastered the art of perception. The problem isn't the task. The problem is how you frame the task. You tell yourself, I have to go to the gym. It's going to be painful. I don't want to do it. You have created a narrative of suffering before you even tie your shoes. You have made the task harder than it actually is. Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. The task is neutral. Lifting weights is just lifting weights. Working on your project is just typing on a keyboard. The suffering is entirely generated by your mind. The Stoic removes the narrative. They look at the task objectively. This action moves me toward my ideal self. Therefore, I will do it. There is no emotional drama. There is no need for hype or motivation. It is a simple calculation. A motivation is an emotion. And emotions are weather. They change. If you wait for the right weather to build your house, you will never finish it. The Stoic builds in the rain. Not because they like the rain, but because the house must be built. Third, they embrace chosen hardship not as a punishment. Not as a flex, but as an inoculation. Seneca advised setting aside a few days each month to live on the cheapest food, wearing rough clothes. Ask yourself, is this the condition that I feared? Modern society is terrifyingly comfortable. We are terrified of slight hunger, slight cold, slight boredom. This comfort makes us fragile. When you constantly seek comfort, you become a slave to it. The moment you are deprived of it, you panic. You break your rules. Your discipline shatters. The Stoic purposefully removes the comfort. They prove to themselves that they do not need it. When you realize you can survive, and even thrive, with very little, the fear disappears. You are no longer controlled by the desire for luxury or the fear of poverty. You become dangerous because you cannot be manipulated by comfort anymore. You are free. And finally, the most crucial shift of all. The Stoics understood the power of mortality. Memento mori. Remember, you must die. This isn't depressing. It is the ultimate clarifier. You are procrastinating because you think you have time. You are putting off your life because you believe tomorrow is guaranteed. It is not. You are dying right now. The time you have already lived belongs to death. When you truly internalize this, the trivial distractions lose their grip. Scrolling for 3 hours doesn't require discipline to stop. It requires the horrifying realization that you are burning irreplaceable moments of your existence. The Stoics didn't need life hacks to focus. They used the shadow of death to burn away the nonsense. When death is standing over your shoulder, the right action becomes very clear. You stop worrying about what people think of you. You stop obsessing over imaginary future problems. You focus entirely on what is in front of you, right now, in this single, fleeting moment. Drop the facade. Stop trying to force yourself into a mold designed to sell you more courses. Stop relying on the myth of discipline. Willpower will break. The alignment is unbreakable. Align your actions with your true nature. Change the story you tell yourself about what is hard and what is easy. Realize that the discomfort of growth is nothing compared to the agony of regret. You do not need more motivation. You need more clarity. You need to decide, finally, who you are going to be and not what you are going to do. Who you are going to be. The world doesn't care about your struggles. It only cares about what you build. Get out of your own way. Build the house.